silver and black are back. They're back. Got it all figured out. Got rid of Josh McDummy, and now the Raiders are cooking. They are cooking, and that's our lead from Sin City this hour. That's the headline there. The Jets touching down for a play date there with the Raiders. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, promoting all kinds of Vegas hot spots there in the hizzy. And it was a big Sunday night. Not a matchup that really had a lot of juice to it. Didn't. If you think it did, you're delusional. Did not. We watched it. Now, Josh Jacobs did something that he hasn't done in a long time. He ran for over 100 yards, had 116 yards. Aiden O'Connell didn't play well, but he did have the lone touchdown pass of the game, found Michael Mayer, the Golden Domer there, for the only touchdown of the game, and the Raiders improved to 2-0 on the season under their interim coach, Antonio Pierce, straight out of Compton, and the Raiders win the game by 4. Jets had multiple chances late in the game. The Raiders are 5-5, and they were able to turn away the Jets. A couple of late drives there, including a Zach Wilson interception, which is what he does. And the better story is in the losing locker room, where a couple of weeks ago the chatter was the Jets are a playoff team. Are you still saying the Jets are a playoff team? Now, if they were in the NFC, you'd say yes. In the AFC, not so much. Now, the better question, is it now time to pull the rug from underneath Zach Wilson and to bench Zach Wilson as the quarterback of the Jets? I've got expiration date, Kool-Aid, and volume knob. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a headache, is what we're going to make, which you likely had if you were tuned in, engaged in what was going on in the Sunday night game. So, hey, listen, the Jets are who we thought they were. If you want to crown them, crown their asses. But I get a kick out of the reaction from many in the pundit world. Well, now the Jets have to bench Zach Wilson. This should have happened weeks ago. Like, what are we doing? Seriously, like, how stupid are you? This guy is a turd, Zach Wilson. He's been a turd ever since he got to the NFL. And it's like, well, no, now's the time. Losing to the Raiders on Sunday night, that's the point of demarcation. We've crossed the Rubicon. Really? Really? Come on. How many drives do the Jets have to go through where they don't get a touchdown before you're like, well, I don't know. I guess the answer is the Sunday night game. It takes someone to have intestinal fortitude to pull the quarterback. And listening between the words, Robert Saleh's got no marbles. He does not have the marbles to do it. And I got the vibe from his weekly paid radio appearance in New York that there are powers that be above Robert Saleh that are keeping Zach Wilson in there. And I don't get it. Maybe you can figure it out. I can't figure it out. But when Robert Saleh, the coach of the Jets, this week said, well, I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm going to take the fifth when asked why not go with Trevor Siemian. Zach Wilson is well past his expiration date. Now, there are ways you can take expired food and eat them. You have to, it involves a lot of heat. Got to heat them up, things like that. But, man, you watch the Jets, it's like they're running the four corners offense. I didn't know that was a thing in the NFL. It's like they're trying to run out the clock, play keep away, keep the ball away from the other team, and trying to just have Zach waste space, I guess. They know they can't get in the end zone, so they want me to get a field goal range. That'll be great. There's no need to sugarcoat it. What's the point of sugarcoating it, right? It's eggs to eggs, suck to suck. That's the situation there. The crackling and sputtering of the Jets' offense with Zach Wilson, because Zach is whack. That could be the bumper sticker. Now, Trevor Siemian, let's not sit here and say that Trevor Siemian is God's gift to the quarterback position. He's got his own set of issues. But watching Zach Wilson play, hell, I'd rather see Fireman Ed play quarterback for the Jets. Just, hey, if the Giants can start a guy in DeVito who shouldn't be playing in the NFL, why can't the Jets be playing Fireman Ed? Who says no? He's already got the helmet. He can wear the fireman helmet. That's fine. I'll give him an exemption. Put a face mask on it. Who says no? But I am and I have no skin in the game. I'm not a Jets backer by any means. I like goofing on the Jets. Everywhere I worked in radio over the years and media, there's always Jets fans. The TV show I work on now, one of my producers, big Jets fan, right? So I'm always surrounded by the Jets fans. I always like, because it's more fun to goof on them when they lose. But it should be ABZW. That should be it. ABZW. Anybody but Zach Wilson. That should be the mantra. Anybody but Zach Wilson. Because at worst, it's a lateral move. It's not worse. You're not worse. How can you be worse? You don't get touchdowns. Touchdowns are verboten in the Jets offense. All right, now turn to the page. If you were listening closely to the NBC broadcast on Sunday night, you likely heard the report that Aaron Rodgers has decided when he is coming back, baby, to save the bacon of the Jets. And it was reported by the Sunday night broadcast that Aaron Rodgers had informed them his plan is to come back in mid-December. And that comes via the Sunday night report. So Aaron Rodgers has it all laid out to return to the Jets lineup in mid-December. Believe it or not. So I looked at the Jets schedule. I looked at Aaron Rodgers. He was on the sidelines there. And I am agnostic is the word. I am not a believer. I am not a believer on this one. I'm not drinking the green Kool-Aid with Aaron Rodgers on this. Now, why would Rodgers return to a team that's not a playoff team? Especially when you talk about the fact that to come back, other than make some kind of medical statement, which I guess, that's the argument. Rodgers is trying to do this to say that Western medicine is effed up and he's going to come back and prove that all these doctors are full of crap and he can come back from an ACL injury in 3 months as opposed to the usual 6, 9, 12 months. If that's the goal, that's fine. But in terms of the football stuff, mid-December, I circled the date December 17th in South Florida. The Dolphins and the Jets. That's the matchup, December 17th. The Jets right now, let's do the here and now. The Jets are 4-5 after their loss to the Raiders. So they're a losing team. Losing team's not going to make the playoffs in the AFC as it stands right now. So the Jets have to play at Buffalo. They already beat Buffalo one time. It's going to be harder to do it in the shadow of Niagara Falls. And then you've got a home game with the Dolphins in Jersey. Those are the next two games. And those are, considering the Jets cannot score and the Dolphins can score, that seems like that's going to be a loss. So you're looking at loss, most likely. Then you play the Falcons and the Texans after that. Play the schedule game. So those are the next 4 games. So realistically, let's say the Jets win the Atlanta game, and the way the Texans are going right now, they can score some points, so good luck on that. So you're looking at 1-3. So if my Maller math is correct, that means the Jets will be 5-8 at that point. 3 games under 500. At most, they can go 9-8. And at that time, Rodgers is going to come back? Really? I'd like to have what you're smoking. My God. And the ACL injury, he would return after 97 days. That's the amount. He was started on September 11th. That would be 97 days. That's 3 months and a couple of extra days on top of it for an injury. Again, that normally takes 6 to 9 months, but he will prove all of the medical. Everyone that took the Hippocratic Oath is full of crap. Aaron Rodgers is going to do that. Now imagine the list of waivers that Rodgers and the Jets are going to have to sign from the insurance companies if Rodgers is going to come back in 3 months as opposed to 6, 9, or a year. Right? So, okay, we'll let you come back, but if your leg gets twisted around and snapped off like a twig, we're not responsible, okay? I'm just saying. Anyway, all right, last word here. So let's go to the Raiders side, the winning locker room, the silver and black, the cigars. They were smoking the stogies. Another stogie party for the Raiders. And now I've read a lot here from the insider crowd that this is it. The Raiders have found their forever coach now. So are you convinced that Antonio Pierce is the man for the Raiders? Now, I like AP, and I want him to be the Raiders coach, but I'm already annoyed by the media coverage. I'm already pissed off by what I'm hearing about Antonio Pierce. I want him to get the job, but I'm going to call it like it is. Let's call a spade a spade. They have spades in Vegas in those casinos. But here's the issue. I think he's got a really good chance to get the Raider full-time job. But after 2 games, right, you take the knob, you twist the knob, you turn the knob down on the noise, the volume knob. You turn that down when it comes to Antonio Pierce. Why? I have a sneaking suspicion that he hasn't yet played a real NFL team. Have you looked at the Giants and the Jets? The quarterbacks are Tommy DeVito and Zach Wilson. That's who the Raiders took down. That's the junior varsity of the NFL. Now, you're supposed to beat who you play and all that. I get all the cliches and all that, but is that an impressive thing? Taking a couple tomato cans and spiking the tomato cans down. Do you celebrate the spike of the tomato can? That's how pathetic. A lot of these Raider guys are really excited about this. They think they got something. Now, I'll tell you when I get excited, and I'm not a Raider guy, but the next stretch of games, here's another opportunity here, and Antonio Pierce beating the Jets and the Giants, okay, whoop-de-damn-do. But you want to show me something, you got a game at the Dolphins. Here's what's up for the Raiders. At the Dolphins, they play Kansas City in Vegas. They have the bye week. I think they'll win that. And then Vikings in Vegas, Chargers in Vegas, and Chiefs. So those are the next 5 games. If Josh McDaniels is coaching the Raiders, they go, 1-4 in that stretch? Maybe 2-3, but probably 1-4. So do better than that. Do better than that. And then we got something. Right now, beating the Jets and the Giants does not get you all excited. It doesn't. It shouldn't. If it does, you're pathetic. You're a loser.